Okay, so today our LO4 is which is about be able to communicate taxation information to the all relevant stakeholders. We already know the stakeholders mean anyone who has any interest in the business is a stakeholder. So taxation information really key in HMRC. Of course, various other stakeholders, even implies and all other, they're paying the fair tax of employees and their contribution. So these stakeholders really interested and all the information we can pass to them in different form of reporting system. And we can, during our previous lessons, we discuss about popular people chat in offices, ethics. We had a discussion about parent, subsidiary, associate, capital gain tax, and various other taxes. And we discussed about inherent tax in the previous lessons as well. So today is key focus is knowledge about tax planning, communication, and that all will be in our discussion today. Okay. So please always we follow finance act, whichever year you're doing and dealing with accounts. So always look around that particular year. So like, the personal allowance and all other informations we had, this is the previous years. So 12,500 was capital allowance and all others, the rates we need to follow accordingly. Okay, so when we communicate with the various stakeholders, we need to be in line with the what is which finance act we are talking about, and we need to pass the information to our stakeholder. So 4.1 assessment criteria, communicate advice and information in appropriate format to all stakeholders. So stakeholder analysis is a part of our formulating an organization strategy. So we have to make the strategy action plan, how we'll communicate with various stakeholders. But we also don't want to be violate the confidentiality by law as well as ethics as well. So a stakeholder is a group of individuals who has interest in what the organization does and expectation of the organization. It is important that the organization understand. We should understand the different stakeholder needs. We need to be keep the relationship with the stakeholders. Of course, relationship very important in a business world as well. So that's which we need to look around. Okay, we have corporate Uh, corporate social responsibility reports is also very important, which we'll carry on publishing, and that's which we need to be on the public domain. So, and that's which we should, and we can pass that in shape of we can communicate with various stakeholders. So stakeholders can be broadly categorized into three groups: internal implies connected shareholders and external government. Internal stakeholders are ultimately, yes, connected to the organization and their objective are likely to be have a strong influence. So implies and manages, yes, pay, working condition, contribution. These are example, if the workers are to be given more responsibility, they will expect to increase their pay and the tax, need to be, and we need to communicate what impact will be on their tax, their wage slips and all. Okay, so connected stakeholders can be viewed as contractual relationship with the organization. The objective of satisfying the shareholders is taken as the prime objective, which the management of the organization will need to fulfill. However, the customer and the financials objective must be met, with the company. So we can look around the shareholders. Yes, steady flow of the income. If the capital is required for the growth, the shareholders will expect, rise in the dividend. So these are different expectations. We can look around each stakeholder and we can communicate accordingly with them. External stakeholders include the government, of course, is a key stakeholder, the HMRC in terms of the taxation, communication, which we have to, and we need to be look around the true. So VAT return, we can all the return we supposed to be on accordingly, and which scheme we are following, what refund we have, and we can look around various ways we can communicate with the HMRC. We can do via telephone, online, and yes, so are written. So that's the way we can. Yes, a different conflict can be with the stakeholders, so employee versus managers, customer versus shareholders, or general public. So they have a different, the interest within the business. So job wages versus bonus, cost efficiency, like, managers want more bonus, but employees want, yes, wages to be paid. And the customer versus shareholders, sometimes customer want cheaper product, but the shareholder want more dividend. So it will provide the cheaper goods to the customer, less money available for the shareholder for dividend. So these are all, so we carry on getting regular feedback and we listen to stakeholders. Okay, so there are the number of way, resolving the conflict in the stakeholders. So like, so just the way, conflicting stakeholders, satisfying, involving in negotiation. Yes, maybe a couple of you watch, Undercover Boss program is quite good to look around what is actually stakeholder want sitting in office. Maybe it's very difficult to look around various stakeholders' expectations, which we look around turn again in the few years, like expected to be further. Like this is example, the staff maybe receive a pay rise with the clear information. It's not their turn again in the few years. So should not be expected, the further increase. So we clearly should indicates like, we can justify it why we are doing all these, the pensions and other, because of course pension contribution and all others. So deadlock we need to be resolved with the unions and all others by giving them true information. We have different models which we can look around. When there's law which we can look around, the stakeholder mission statement of the company, not contradict corporate governance, how well the company run and control. Corporate ethics, we not compromise our own organization values, because every organization we treat people like to be treated. When we actually the Tesco not paid 18 months to the small farmers. Yes, so we can look around these all expectation and we'll communicate with the various stakeholders to meet their expectation. Okay. Large listed companies, primary accountability, shareholders and regulator. Yes, so private company shareholders, we can look around in the principal stake shareholders, the stakeholders are the shareholders. Main method of monitoring the performance, financial statements, which we can look around different stakeholders, different expectations, and we'll try to communicate and meet their expectation accordingly. That's quite crucial. And then 4.2, note the exemptions, made limitation of the information provided to the stakeholders. Of course, annual general meeting, extraordinary meetings, all this information we need to be passed to the stakeholders. Yes, when we have AGM, of course, is becoming compulsory for public limited company to be have once a year. So COVID-19, restructuring organizations, sustainability, all these can be. Okay, so we can communicate, effective communication always two ways, using appropriate, the format, observing format, conventions and the style, and professionally presented, technically correct. Yes, clearly understanding all this information, clearly explained to the stakeholders. Okay, so we can use the word planning when communication. Think about pass and kiss. So password is consist of purpose, audience, structure, and style. Keep it short and simple. That to the point information we'll try our best to give to the stakeholders. And when planning communication, think about professionalism. Yes, leadership abilities, neatness, and all these points, we can demonstrate. The corporate image is reflecting the image of the organization. Goodwill of the organization also is very, very important. Like, few years back, Facebook, they paying not right amount of the tax, and managing account when earning 75,000, 4,000 pound tax and managing. So we that's went to the media. So it can be huge impact. So we can look around informal, formal communication, appropriate style of organization, appropriate business relationship, which we can usefully, grammatically sentence, refer addresses by the title, abbreviation and the rules all, in the reports for suppose if you're writing. So internal versus, yes, external, and we can look around different method. It can be informal, formal communication. Yes, telephone, voicemails, and all these are the methods. We need to look around the stakeholders, and we have to choose the appropriate method. Okay, so when we communicating, maybe we can use the letterheads, yes, the reference, dates, look around keywords, and some CLA celebrations and all, need to be accordingly. That's all in term of communication, but the communication can be, it's not only for the text in the journal, can be also we can look around formal and informal. So in the formal, title, summary, introduction, finding, conclusion, recommendation, appendices can be, and informal, it's not really properly format in a way here, which we like. It can be title, dates, introduction, finding, conclusion, recommendation. These are all optional under the. So emails, of course, we can look around. Always some information, BCC, which is blind carbon copy, always good to use. Yes, when we communicating, maybe we're not going to break the data protection and all. That's, one other we need to be careful. Yes, we can do facts, of course, we can write clear reference numbers. Yes, all the relevant information, and communicating to the various stakeholders can be informal. Yes, written notes pass to the yes, pass on the message and instructions. Yeah, all, this is quite, so these are some, just a guidance to the just in terms of the communication to the stakeholders, various stakeholders. Mass communication go through the public. Yes, nowadays, of course, digital media, we can use it for mass communication with the various audience. Other companies such as Unilever and various other, those are quite big companies when they communicating. So internal communication within the company for internal stakeholders like functional area, department, HR, production and marketing within that can be. Okay, so of course, when we communicating review internal communication framework, always good to be conducting, review, look around the key stakeholders and right information, true, and because the in accounts, especially true and fair information is a key to pass to the various stakeholders. Uh, Select the right delivery channel because the promoter, the stakeholders is using, and we should use the channel like if you want through radio, through tele, through various others channel to pass the information to the various stakeholders, especially think about AGM meetings and while others. So yes, which channel you use depends upon the range of factors. You look around the size, location, where the stakeholder, what sort of channel they use, information, feedback, always good to be look around. Feedback is a feed forward. For example, the staff will need publicly inform the change of the strategic direction of the organization or other changes in the organization or changes in the text itself, can be communicated. Communication, the mission, vision, values, and strategies of organization in future, maybe the head office move, the impact of the corporation tax, especially like, setting head office in Ireland or setting in the here and other part of the world by looking the corporation tax because the rules, we can look around accordingly and we can communicate to the various stakeholders, maybe sometime call the information passed to them. So we have to take on board. So be aware of your legal responsibility. Of course, the what is our legal responsibility to as a of course we need to be give the true and fair information. Is a small, medium or big organization, we can look around the rules accordingly and communicate, with the various stakeholders. Ensure the consistent communication. Of course, that's very important with doesn't matter whichever the way or whichever sort of communication we are doing in terms of taxation or all others, we need to be in order to ensure the employees are engaged and informed. Of course, nowadays, of course, cash dashboard is quite good. CRM system, customer relationship management system, we can use it. Our AIS, accounting information system, is very important, so we can carry on communicating information to the relevant stakeholders from through dashboard. And of course, we looking the ethics side. A meeting is coming together. Of course, we need to be look around where we can pass the information. We can arrange meeting. It can be formal, informal, example type of meeting. Information sharing, information gathering, problem solving, or decision making meetings can be where we can pass information to the various stakeholders. Okay, so we can look around to solve problem, why meeting, solve problem, make decision, develop plan, gather, convey, and get response information. And in terms of tax and various others, yes, restructuring organization and written down allowance and various other information we can get and we can pass to the stakeholders. So before the meeting, the common practice is set agenda. Of course, that's, clearly we can communicate. Meeting minutes, of course, that can be, and for effective communication is very crucial. A little Kahoot link there, please, in your time. If you want to play with it, you can set a free account and you can do some quizzes on communication. Effective, and we've been given a links, please, article if you want to read further. So responsibilities, promotion, internal control, and communication is very important, and which we can look around. Okay, that's all today lesson. We look around how we can communicate effectively with the stakeholders in tax as well as in a general business areas. And communication is very important. And stakeholders mean anybody who has any interest in the business or their interest influence due to the action of the company, due to our action that can be. Okay, so those we can look around. And in terms of when we communicate with the HMRC, so first thing we can look around online. Yes. Then of course we can via emails or online chat nowadays. So we can communicate and then we can look around. Otherwise we can write them. Yes, writing can be the last bit. So first we maybe telephone, first online, then telephone, then write them. Yes. So these are all the communication, the way we can communicate with the various stakeholders, including HMRC as well. Okay, so that's, the record keeping communication that can be, which we can look around. So previous lesson I mentioned you, and I can share with you the links about if you want to look around ethical sides. Yes, we have their separate ethic modules as well. So I share with you if you want to around some. Okay, give me 1 minute. Okay, so in our chat, I'm just giving you a link if you want to look around, because that's becoming very important ethics modules to whenever you apply any membership or member in practice. So it's good to look around, and some communication with the stakeholders also is good to know. So is a link in the chat box. Yes, if you want to, you can play. At the end, we'll show you the answers as well. What you think. So that's all, today lesson. If you have any question, please you can ask. And otherwise, next lesson will be our assignment discussion. And we'll go through how we can address all the learning outcome, where we can find the examples, and how we can meet the learning outcome within our assignment brief and the task and the scenario accordingly. Yes, please. If you previous lesson, I also shared with you the taxation. I'll share with you again if you want to look around under the tax, business tax, and individual personal tax elements. Yes, so that's quite good too. We have different finance act we can look around. Here is personal tax links. If you want to look around few scenario based questions for the sake of your own understanding, and look around for the, most of you working, so a lot of things itself. So that's your first, I shared with you the personal tax, and I'm going to share with you the business tax areas as well. And that's quite is each areas we have two small sort of questions. Yes, so it's good to look around. Okay, so that's all from my end. If you have any question, please you can ask. Otherwise, we'll keep up to here. Thanks for attending today's session, and hope speak you all during our next session, which will be on next Sunday when we'll do the assignment discussion. If you have any particular question, please you can ask. Otherwise, we'll keep up to here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Speak you all next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a lovely weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.